Hi guys! My name is Julia Kelley. I am an astrologer and a tarot reader and a psychic intuitive. I just wanted to do a tarot pool for each zodiac sign because right now we're all going through some stuff, not only with the whole quarantine, COVID thing going on, but also just the retrogrades we have right now. We have Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, and Venus in retrograde. And as soon as Venus goes out of retrograde, we have Mars going into retrograde. So we just have quite a lot of things going on right now. I want to just do a pool for each sign to just give you guys a little bit of clarity as to what's going on. Virgos. Okay. You guys are actually loving this alone time right now, huh? Okay. A few different things for you guys. So we have the reverse Three of Wands, the Queen of Wands, and the Sun. These are for the most part, this is a pretty good vibe going on. So, okay. So what I'm getting for you guys overall is it's like you're reforming things right now. So the reverse Three of Wands, this indicates that there is some kind of challenge or barrier that has come up, something you didn't see, and usually this is a sign of like something didn't go as planned and now you have to adjust. And that's very true, but I'm actually getting this as like more of a like how you're interpreting the collective things. It's like you may have gone through this period at the beginning of this whole experience where you were like frustrated, you're like, my life was working this way and now I have to rework it, and I had these plans and I was just getting to this place and now I have to go back and totally change how I'm viewing things. But I'm seeing that actually now at this stage you're finally stepping into like your real energy here, and the Queen of Wands indicates that. So does the Sun. These are both really powerful cards when it comes to really being in your own energy, and I want to emphasize that word energy here. It's not necessarily like this blanket of a statement to just throw on, oh, this energy, that energy, but it's more about like your own aura. How do you feel in your own aura? The Queen of Wands is really about authentically expressing yourself. And what I'm seeing here is that because of the things that were thrown off of your path, the things that you've had to rework, you've actually been given the space to really step into yourself, to really see yourself and say, hey, I actually have time to do this or to figure this out or to become this more enhanced version of myself. So I'm gonna do it. And you've been doing it. And some of you may feel like, oh, that's not me, or I'm not totally there yet. But there's definitely, with both of these cards and just what I'm feeling for you guys, there's definitely an underlying energy here of like purity, like cleansing your life, kind of like able to breathe. Things are more at your pace right now, where you actually aren't in the go, but you can be productive in your own way. And I think that's really important right now when I'm looking at the Sun. This speaks to this as well, where it's like being in your own light. It's not necessarily about having to stir the pot or stoke the fire in the way that you have been. So it's not necessarily about being productive in the way that you have been, but it's more about finding your own rhythm for the things that you want to do. First, finding what it is that you're wanting to do, how you're wanting to express yourself, and then finding the rhythm for that and getting into flow with it. There's a lot of abundance, a lot of opportunity for you right now, and a lot of that comes back to being in your own rhythm. So if you feel like you're not there yet, start with the Queen of Wands. Get into that place where you're connecting with your feminine, you're connecting with your natural self, with the side of you that knows its intuition and knows the way that the environment works around it. If you aren't in nature or near nature, see if you can connect with nature in some way, whether that be plants in your home, whether that be like visualization, listening to nature sounds, or actually going to a park. allow yourself to really be immersed in nature right now. It's gonna take part in that clearing and that cleansing. And I can sense that some of you have already done that and you're like, yes, I'm here. And then there's other of you who are like, I still feel like icky, like I'm kind of like that, it's like a dirty pond. You need to clean it out. There needs to be rainwater that washes away some of the things that are stuck from last year. You don't necessarily, I'm not getting that you guys have much to worry about with like the people around you right now. Some of you may be feeling like, oh, I can't do this because I'm like stuck here, or I'm doing this, but don't buy into that too much. Your experience is not the same as everyone else's, so even though you might not be in your ideal situation, you have a lot of authentic power right now. So be resourceful. You know how to be resourceful. Be resourceful and figure out how you can really be in your own energy at this time. And once you get into that, everything else is going to flow. Yeah. Leos. You guys going through breakups right now or something? Just getting some like endings. Some endings. Okay. Definitely some like themes here for you guys of like connecting with other people. Like maybe some new relationships, but then also some endings coming through. Okay, so first we have the Two of Pentacles here for you guys, and then the reverse Queen of Pentacles, and then the Princess of Wands. So starting here with the Two of Pentacles, this is just really about getting your routine set. You know, there's a theme for Leo this year with Jupiter of having a solid schedule, of having a solid routine, really putting your health first. And I talked about this at the beginning of the year, and it's really coming back up here with these two cards. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. If you're stuck in a bad habit right now, whether you're not eating the way that you want to, or you're not, in a good sleep routine, whatever that is, if you're like watching television and maybe you want to stop doing that for right now, or take a break on that, this is your chance to really get things straight and step back from your current routine and rework it so that it's serving you better. You may be caught in a lot of things right now where you feel like busy, but you're like, what am I actually busy with? Where you're like, I have so many little things going on, or like the days are actually going by fast, but I feel like I didn't do anything today, or I feel like I didn't like do the things that I really wanted to do, or that I need to do. And it's affecting your health. So what's really coming through here is this reverse Queen of Pentacles, which is all about the health. And again, this is a theme for you guys with Jupiter in your 6th house. So make sure that you're taking care of your physical body right now. Are you connected with your physical body? If you're not, if you're in this mental world because you're on social media 24/7, or just because you're not getting enough movement in the day, this is really a call to change that up. This is really a call to reconnect with your body. Just because you can't go to the gym in the same way you've been going doesn't mean that you can't have some kind of movement in your life, or just because you're not getting enough sunlight maybe doesn't mean that you can't find alternative ways to kind of nourish yourself in that way. Whether that means getting like a happy lamp, or whether that means having just vitamin D supplements, or if that just means laughing and enjoying yourself, or enjoying time with friends, cooking for yourself. These little things that you can do in the house can actually make a really big difference, even though it's not the same way that you usually live. That doesn't mean that you have to go totally against any progress you've been making in your health, or in, like, again, health being physical, but also mental, spiritual, emotional, relational. So yeah, take care of yourself right now. You may be going through some transitions, and it's like, almost like, I'm getting kind of a sense where it's like, you may have had a relationship that actually ended a while ago, but it's coming back up right now, and it's like weighing you down. But there's an opportunity here for you to take ownership of your life. Like, don't wait for someone else to come and heal you or fix you, or like make things work for you, or like don't wait for quarantine to be over to get things back together. Now's the chance. Now's your opportunity. If you feel a little bit lost in like television, social media, whatever it is, see if you can just kind of pause it all. Just pause it all. Take some time to yourself. Reconnect with your body, and the insight that you're looking for as to like, well, what do I do next? that's probably going to come once you have that opportunity to reconnect. The Princess of Wands here too. This is a really great card, and what I'm seeing is that the way that it's come out, this is coming after you've reconnected with yourself, after you've nourished yourself. So first and foremost, take care of your health, get in a good routine. If you've already done that, and once you do that, there's a lot of light energy coming through here, where it's like, there's opportunity. You're going to start seeing things like, oh wait, I actually have so much time. And since I'm not spending my time doing this, or like wondering about this, or like scrolling on this, I can actually put it into a project I want to do, or this idea that I have. This is a very entrepreneurial card. It's like, if you have an idea, go for it. Let those ideas shine, let it out. So this is a great time. If you have some extra time on your hands, see what you can do with that. See if you can build something, make something, become a new version of yourself, because you have this time to really create that space. And yeah, just embrace where you are as well. If you are dealing with somewhat of a heavy heart space, see if reconnecting with your body will allow you to release some of that weight. All right, my Cancer babies, here we go. So also a few different cards for you guys. I actually got the Queen of Wands again here, and the Queen of Wands came out sideways, so we'll talk about that meaning there. The Eight of Pentacles, the reversed Four of Swords, and then the Devil card. So we'll talk about this. And just as a note, this is just kind of starting with this a little bit. This is the card for Capricorn. Capricorn is your opposite sign. Capricorn is also a lot of the energy that we're experiencing this year. So it makes sense that's coming up for you guys. Okay, the Queen of Wands, starting with this, this is just really a pivotal experience between feeling like you're in your own energy and then feeling like you're taking on other people's emotions. And that's really what I'm getting here, is it's like, one minute you're like, yes, this is me, I'm here, and then the next minute you're like, oh wait, I started to feel this anxiety, or I've started to feel this sadness, and I'm like, is this mine? I don't know if this is mine. And then those emotions becoming a part of how you're going about your day, or even how you're making decisions. So just be really aware if you're living with people right now, if you're taking on their energy, just be really aware of how you're cleansing yourself of that energy. So are you taking showers and doing kind of a mental cleanse? Are you using oils? Are you going out in nature? Are you doing a meditation? Whatever it is, make sure that you are cleansing out other people's energy. As a Cancer, you're going to naturally hold on to other people's energy even when you're not aware of it. And that's going to really like hurt you right now with getting in touch with that inner feminine, that inner authenticity, that inner expression. So just be aware that there is an opportunity here for you to really be in your own energy, and you've felt that since this whole experience started. I can sense that, is that as soon as, COVID quarantine started, you're like, yes, I finally have time to be with myself. Yeah, and that's true, but there's also this simultaneous paradox where you might feel like you're experiencing too many other emotions that aren't your own, and you're having trouble actually connecting with that authentic voice. And that's okay. That's okay. Some of these other cards are going to help clear that up a bit. The Eight of Pentacles, I know a handful of Cancers, and this is a really great card to actually come out for you guys right now, because you might be looking for some concrete advice or some guidance right now of like, I'm feeling it all, like what am I supposed to do? So this is really about honing in on your skill right now. Whatever it is that you know you're supposed to do, or that you just really enjoy doing, this can be anything from something that's a little bit bigger, like writing or singing or dancing, to something that's more granular, like you're really trying to figure out how to harmonize better, or you're really trying to figure out how to like make specific recipes. Whatever it is, this is speaking to a craft. So put your energy into a very specific craft. What are you doing on a daily basis that is serving your purpose? Again, it's like if you love cooking, if you love making things, if you love singing, whatever it is, these are all a part of who you are in your craft. And so make sure that you're putting effort and time into this every day. And this is going to be a real, like, I just love the visual on this, because it really shows you, I think, how to start thinking through some of these emotions you might be feeling. when you start feeling an emotion, I like if you look at all these kind of images around the patterns there, it's like those are your emotions, and then you put them into your craft. So take what you're feeling and put it into something, put it into your art, put it into whatever it is you're creating. You know, I've yet to meet a Cancer who's not some form of an artist, so take that into account. You don't have to be the traditional theater, music, writing, dancing artist. Your artistry may be speaking, it may be doing business, your artistry may be being a mother. Whatever it is, use that right now to channel your emotions. You have a real opportunity to create things right now, but it's easy to get lost in your head. And then this kind of connects with this as well. So the reverse Four of Swords, this is all about rest, Shavasana in yoga, the final position where you rest, the final resting position where you've done all of the poses, you've done all of the work, you've moved all of the energy, and now you sit with it. Now you sit with it. And what this is really speaking to is just actual physical, literal rest. Take a bath, meditate, lay down. This isn't as much like watching TV until midnight. That's not exerting yourself, but it's also not resting. This is like quite literally speaking into sleep as I'm channeling it for you guys. Just getting sleep. If you aren't getting a good night of sleep, and you may not even be aware of it, just check like little indicators in your environment to see if you're getting a good night of sleep. Are you waking up in the middle of the night? Is there a lot of light in the room? Are you waking up from sounds in your room? See if you can minimize or I guess optimize your environment at night to make sure that you are getting really restful periods of sleep. Having some kind of ritual before bed can also be helpful, but specifically what I'm getting for you guys is like, don't get on your phone before you go to bed. See if you can have some time in between when you're getting ready for bed and then when you're actually in bed where you don't have any technology. So maybe you're reading, maybe you're writing, maybe you're meditating, whatever that is. See if you can have a period where you turn off your phone, you turn off your television, and you're just getting ready to sleep. And then lastly, when we look at the Devil here, this is really about feeling trapped. It's really about feeling like you're stuck in something. It can be related to addiction as well. What's coming through here is it's like getting caught in this victimhood mentality of like, I'm in a bad situation, this isn't working out for me, I'm stuck here, I can't get out, so I'm gonna go to food, or I'm gonna go to substances, or I'm gonna go to emotional reliances, codependency. All of these things can come up right now, and it's totally okay that they are. It's very normal that they are, but just be aware that you're not stuck, you're not actually trapped, you have a lot of free will, even if you don't think that you do. And even if you are in a situation where there isn't a clear out, there isn't a clear door or exit sign, like that's okay, but you have so much free will inside of your mind, inside of your thought processing. What are you deciding to do with your time? What are you deciding to do with your emotions? This is a real empowering time for you to look inward, to work inward, and make some choices to set yourself up for success. And a lot of that's going to come down to how you're spending your time. Gemini, okay. All right, a few different cards here. We have the reversed High Priestess, the reversed Ten of Cups, the reversed Lovers, which is Gemini's card, and then the Star card. And this one was hidden in my deck, so just kind of a real magical card for you guys here. The reversed High Priestess. This is really speaking to mixed signals right now, mixed intuition, where you might be feeling extra intuitive right now, like more than you usually do, where you're like, oh, I'm like getting this thought about someone, or like I'm feeling this way about a past situation, or I'm feeling this way about something that's coming up even. Those might all be coming to you in different ways right now that they don't usually come to you, and that might be causing some confusion where you're like, I don't really know if I should trust how I'm feeling. You might be looking externally for information or for education on what's going on. But what this is really asking you to do is to go inside and to spend some time with yourself, like really with yourself, really with your, whatever it is that you do that brings you back to yourself, going into nature, writing, singing, whatever it is. Find yourself in a situation that you are able to do that, like really where you're alone, you're not thinking about what you're doing later, you're not thinking about who's texting you, you're just really in your own space and your own time, and allow yourself to dive into some of the questions that you may have that you're putting into the external world. You're going to find some answers, and it will be through your own intuition, through your own guidance, but you may not find them right now just being in the process and the motion of everything. You do kind of need to separate yourself a bit from your current environment. The reverse 10 of Cups here, this is speaking to some intimacy issues, and it's coming up with the reverse lovers as well. For those of you who are in a relationship right now, and specifically in a relationship where you're stuck with someone in quarantine, or you're just living with someone in quarantine, this is just showing me that a lot of you might be in relationships that are not ideal, and you may have not known that until quarantine started, where you may be realizing that you're just not with the right person, or you're not in the right place of your life to be with that person or to be with anyone. And for some of you, when I see this reverse 10 of Cups, it's like you may have some issues that are rooting from your childhood, that are rooting from your early stage experiences of your life, and those are coming up for you right now, and they may be coming out in your relationships, also in your friendships, even in roommate situations. They're just going to be coming up, and a lot of that has to do with kind of this slowing down that's going on right now. But then also for you specifically, there's a big theme this year of just diving into some of that stuff with Jupiter in your 8th house. So just keep that in mind, that as we're going through these retrogrades, again, specifically Jupiter retrograde, you may have things that come up and it feels present. It's like, oh, this person or this situation, but it's probably actually about something that's from the past that needs to be addressed. If you have the privilege of accessing therapy right now, this is a really good time to dive into some things that you may otherwise not want to or not feel like you have the space for. If you're in an advantageous situation where you can trust and support someone else, or that there's trust and support for you to freely express emotions, this is also a really good time to do that, to just really go in, and not going in with any kind of intent or expectation, and probably not ideal to do this with someone who you're really close with, but more so someone who would be like just a listening ear, or maybe someone who's older than you, that can really help you to see things clearly, but is also there to hold space for you. And then the reverse lovers, just kind of touching on that again. Yeah, there just may be a lot of you right now who are realizing that you're not in the right relationship. And that's really hard to realize if you've been with someone for a long time. It's really hard to realize if you really love someone, but you're just not in the right relationship with them. And being in the right relationship has so many factors. It doesn't always mean that it's not the right person. It may just mean that it's not the right time. But there is an indication here that you're going to have to address that you're going to have to, it's not going to be easy, but you're going to have to address that in some way, and you'll feel better once you do. And the star here, this is such a cool card for you guys. This is just really showing that, like, if you're feeling in the back of your mind where you're like, things don't feel right on the outside, or they're not like going as I thought they would, but I do feel like there's something happening for me, or I trust what's going on, even though all of these things are happening, I still trust it. Listen to that trust. You're on the right path. This is a great indicator that there's just a real calling in of what you're looking for, and all you have to really do right now is be receptive to it. Just say, yes, I hear the calling, and I'm going to follow it, and I'm not going to resist it. And that's all that's really being asked of you right now as it regards to your path. Yeah, hope that helped you guys. Taurus. All right. Okay, so starting with you guys, we have the reverse Queen of Wands. This has come up quite a few times, and it makes sense for this. The reverse 3 of Cups here, 5 of Wands, and then the reverse 6 of Swords. And this was also pulled for your sister sign, Scorpio. So it makes sense that you both might be going through a similar experience right now. So the Queen of Wands, this is a signal that things might not be going the way that you want them to right now, which makes sense, right? Specifically with like work, career, a situation that you may have really been working on where you're like going, working on this plan, and then it stops and it feels like it's out of your control. This is just showing that there may be some like lashback on your end of like, just be careful to not take things out on other people around you. Be careful to not expect too much of people right now. There's not as much to gain from expecting a lot of things of other people that they cannot offer you right now. And the only thing that's going to come from that is bitterness between you and that person, or between you and that in that exchange, and also some more frustration of what you're already feeling. And this is kind of coming up for you in a few different ways here. When we see the Three of Cups reversed as well, this is also a sign that you may not be having the best experiences with the people in your life right now. And specifically, I'm getting that this can be related to like work, but it may also be the people who you're living with here. This is about people pleasing. It's about not sticking up for yourself and kind of allowing things to just play out, and almost having hidden expectations, like you expect that someone knows how you feel, or you expect that someone is going to do the things that need to be done for you, but you're not verbally communicating that. And these two kind of contradict each other in a sense, and so that may speak to different experiences that you guys are going through, like collectively, but on different ends. But what's really showing here is that you might just not be in the best situation right now, where maybe you're not spending time with the people you want to be spending time with, maybe you're stuck with family, or maybe you're in a work situation where you're just feeling really fed up with the way that you're communicating with people, or the way that people are communicating with you. There's a lot of emphasis here on like, you may be having to communicate with people when you don't want to, when you'd rather kind of go inward right now. But because of obligation or responsibility or proximity, you have to communicate with people. So just be aware that there's never the perfect solution to how to express yourself or how to receive someone else when there's a million other things going on, or when in your life and in their life respectively. But there's always the choice of having compassion and having dignity in the way that you're carrying yourself. So this is just kind of signifying that not everything's going to go as planned right now, and be careful of putting too much of those expectations or those hidden agendas into other people. Yeah, when I see the Five of Wands here, this is speaking to like competition, and the way that this is coming through, it's really about being aware of where tension is right now. In your work environment, there may feel like there's a hostile emotion because of what's going on. Maybe there's more demands at your work, or maybe you're out of work and you're applying to jobs. There can be a few signifiers here that all relate to competitive nature, where you feel like you're competing with people, or you feel like you have to really show your best self. And those might be true. Like this is a time where you really do have to show your best self. And so when you're showing your best self, it doesn't mean the strongest, most dominant self, but it's showing your best self. Who are you truly? How do you want people to see you? And how can you show up in professional environments and also in personal environments right now, in your best self? And then lastly, the Six of Swords here. As I mentioned, this was also pulled for Scorpio, which is your opposite sign. This is about being stuck. And you know, all these cards kind of go together here, where these cards really speak to just kind of being in situations that you have to play out. You just have to watch play out. And when you're at the end of a cycle, or you're at the end of a journey, it can sometimes be like, okay, I'm just ready for it to be over. Like let's go, right? This card is really speaking to being aware that if you are at the end of something, make sure that you're going to end it. Don't just get stuck in a cycle where you're being repressed in something, or you're not showing up fully, or you're resentful of people, or you're upset about a situation and you're just kind of being passive, like, well, I'm just going to show up and not be happy, but I'm just going to do that until I don't have to anymore. This is just really speaking to like, you do have a choice in what you're doing. And if you feel stuck, if you feel stagnant, one, that's so natural right now. Everyone's feeling kind of stuck. That's very common. Two, this being stuck or the feeling stuck is really relating to how you're carrying yourself and how you're able to move forward. So even if things aren't going to change in the near future, like what I'm getting a lot of career stuff for you guys, where if you feel like you're really stuck in a job, or if you feel like you're really stuck in a situation, whether that be not having a job, just acknowledge that there is a change coming, and to get to a place where you aren't feeling negative emotions on a daily basis around that stuff, or not even negative, but just maybe neutral emotions, which can lead to stagnation, feeling stuck, where things aren't horrible, but they also aren't great. Just see if you can start to plan out, map out your ideal situation. What do you really want to be experiencing? What kind of people do you really want to be around? And use that as a motivation. Use that as a way to be grateful for where you are, but to also acknowledge that you have something else coming, that you're on a path towards something else. Okay, so Aries, yeah, a few different cards for you as well, starting with the Six of Pentacles reversed, and then you have the Eight of Swords reversed, the Nine of Swords reversed, and then the Princess of Wands reversed. A lot of reversed cards, but they are not all bad. These are actually very synchronistic cards. So I'll talk about that. Starting here with the reverse Six of Pentacles. This is a pretty direct card, and it's speaking to being taken advantage of financially. And this can be in a few different ways. The main thing I'll say with this is a real call to go into your budget, to go into your spending, see what you're spending money on, and see if everything that you're spending money on makes sense. Are you overpaying on something? Are you paying something that doesn't need to be paid at all? Is there a bill that you can cut out of your budget? Were you charged for a fee that you shouldn't have paid? Are you being underpaid for what you're doing? These are all relating to the reverse Six of Pentacles here, and very much being connected with just being taken advantage of, but maybe not knowing it. And so this is a really good time, especially with all this stuff going on. People are very flexible right now. Companies are very flexible with the amount of money that you have to spend and with what you're paying. So there may be some opportunity in your budget to cut back on something, to even remove a bill for the time being, or maybe permanently. And this is a good time to do that. Also with like what you're making, if you're taking a new job or if you're in a current job, just because we have all this going on doesn't mean that you should, be making less than you should make, less than you're worth, and less than you need to live. Make sure that you're getting your needs taken care of and that you're not being underpaid just because we're in this time right now, right? And then the reversed Eight of Swords here, this is really speaking to being open to new opportunities. It's showing that you may have gone through something, you may have been in something where it's just felt like, if you can kind of see the image there where it's like she's blindfolded, there's all these swords around her. When we have this reversed, it can show that you may have been in this time of your life where you've been stuck in something, you've just kind of been going through something, and maybe you thought it was like what you're supposed to be doing, or maybe you knew it wasn't, but you were still in it, and now you're opening to another reality. Now you're opening to a new perception of that situation, or just seeing new opportunities. Maybe you were doing something and now you're like, I don't actually think I want to do this anymore. That's okay. There's new opportunities coming. There's new ways of seeing coming. So if you feel like you've been stuck and the veil is lifting a bit, follow it, lift it up a bit further. Being comfortable is definitely doesn't equate to being aligned. The Nine of Swords reversed. This is speaking to, specifically for this, I'm getting that it's really about right now being in quarantine. Just be aware of your habits. What are you spending time on? Are you nurturing bad habits, like consuming something that maybe too much alcohol, food, Netflix, whatever it is? just be aware of what you're spending time on, what you're doing with your time, and if there's something that you can cut out or just be a little bit more conscious of. It's really about making conscious choices, conscious decisions, being conscious how you're spending your time, being conscious what you're putting energy into, and also what energy you're taking in. Like, if you're spending a lot of time on social media, just be aware of how that's affecting you. And lastly here, the reverse Princess of Wands. This is just really speaking to all of the things that I just brought up, but it's just saying that if you've been in an experience recently, right now, where you feel like something that you had wanted to go one way went the opposite way, or that something didn't work out how you wanted it to, just allow yourself to acknowledge that it's a learning experience, and that whatever it is that you've learned, you now have with you, so that either you won't make the same mistake again, or you just have as wisdom. Like, every experience that you have is here for a reason. We know this in conceptually, but it's hard to always feel that. This is just saying that on one side, if you've had something happen and you're like, gosh, that was a failure, just acknowledge that it's okay. Like, you're supposed to be learning. We all are. And then the other end of this is, if you want to do something, if you've been like wanting to try something, to go after something, now is the time to do that. You're allowed to do that. Make sure, of course, that you have the means in place to hold yourself up to make a risk or to take a chance on something, but there is an opportunity to do so if you want to. So I hope that helped, and I hope overall these readings helped you or someone else. Share this if it was helpful. Comment below, let me know what you thought, if it resonated for you. I always love to hear how these things resonate. I offer personal readings, one-on-one readings, both astrology readings, tarot readings, and both include the psychic intuitive channeling as well. Feel free to reach out to me, DM me with any questions, and yeah, thanks for watching.